Shalom, shalom, shalom. Soldier Ehud Benaniyah Shirala of the Battle Axes of the Most High. Coming to you with another fervent Friday. Shine on the internet and any of that. Yes, sir. Had another great week. I pray everybody had a blessed and righteous week. Thus say the Lord, right? Just giving everybody the opportunity to come on in, because I know sometimes try to play with our alerts or whatnot. Like, share, subscribe. Let them know class is in session, right? Shalom, salute. Jose, how's the West Side treating you, man? How's California IA treating you? Pray everything is going better since the last time we spoke, the last time I saw you in the class. Pray things are going better with you. You're back feeling better, things of that nature, man. Thus say the Lord. It's been one of those weeks that kind of flew by, right? I don't know if everybody's week kind of flew by. Seemed like it was the Sabbath. Every day was just going like this. And here we are back to Friday, right? Got this wicked holiday coming up, Labor Day, right? I guess they're promoting the free labor that they've received off the black, off the black Latino and Native Americans, right? All praises, man, that the Most High have you able to walk again, right? All praises, man. There's nothing that the Lord can't do for his people, man. All we gotta do is trust and believe, but the main focal point of what we have to do when it comes to the Lord is we have to obey, we have to submit, we have to listen to these laws, statutes, and commandments. So Most High do the rest. Gotta make sure we're on point with him, man. Make sure we're doing exactly thus say the Lord, not thus say us. Because, boy, I tell you, life will try to trick you into that. Hit that like, share, subscribe as you come on in. Don't be afraid to say hello in the chat, you know. Yes. So it's been one of those weeks. I haven't even really been watching the news or anything like that. Just them talking about, you know, the situations going on outside the country. You know what I'm saying? With the back and forth between the different countries and things of that nature. We're getting closer. Every week we get closer, right? So we don't need nobody to drop their spiritual guard, right? I believe in the whole book. So if you're coming over into the scoff, we believe in the whole book here at the Battle Axes. All 80 books, including the Apocrypha. Yes, we believe in the word of the Most High. Right? So if you're coming on saying, do you believe in it? I mean, that's up to you. In regards to at the end of the day, because some people don't care if they get into heaven or not. Some people don't believe that there's a heaven. Some people don't even believe that the Most High said he's not a man that he should lie, right? He's not. So it's been about 2 minutes. This week's class, right? This week's class, Most High put this on my spirit. Generational worth versus generational wealth. Because all they teach you is gotta get the money, gotta get the bag, gotta get the money, gotta get the bag, gotta leave something for the children, things of that nature. I mean, do you have anything to substantiate your claims, vlogs, right? Because if if that is true what you're saying, then you're calling the Most High a liar, right? You're not trying to interrupt. Did you know Christ had his own chapter? Man, I think the Vatican refuses to. What do you think? Well, I've never heard of them having a chapter of their own outside of the gospel. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. The prophets spoke of Christ, they quoted Christ. So the thing is the Bible quotes itself, right? Back and forth, Old Testament to New Testament, Apocrypha to New Testament, Apocrypha to Old Testament, vice versa, right? This is where we get precept upon precept upon precept. This is how we unlock the Bible. Most, and it's called seminary schools, but I call it cemetery schools because it's a dead doctrine that they teach a lot of these pastors and evangelists and things of that nature, because they only teach to actually have a prosperity doctrine. You know, hey, make sure that you tithe and tithe. But in that same breath, they will tell you that the laws of the Most High are done away with. We don't have to do it, right? That the Most High sent his son, Christ died on the cross. We ain't got to worry about the laws anymore. So if that is the case, then why are Christian churches asking for a tithe, right? That's the thing you have to ask yourself. If they're telling you and teaching you that the laws of the Most High are null and void, well, we have numerous scriptures throughout the Bible telling you that you got to keep the commandments, right? Shalom, Adiva, Yapa, my beautiful rib, my Sharaya, right? We gotta ask ourselves, why they telling you you ain't gotta keep the law. You ain't got Christ died for that. But then they're upset when you don't pay your tithes, right? When you don't pay your tithes, now everybody looking at you in the church. When you're not paying these things, they tell you, oh, you ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do that, right? You ain't gotta keep those laws. You can eat what you want, right? You can eat crab, lobster, shrimp. You can do all of that, right? But I've never heard of Mary having her own book of the Bible, you know, because what purpose would Mary's book of the Bible serve in regards to it? These are the things you have to ask yourself. Did she prophesy? Yes, she was the individual that helped bring forth Christ, right? Algeria, okay. But again, like Christ having his own particular, the Bible actually documents Christ's journey from a child to an adult to his death to his resurrection. I mean, that's the most important things there. But sometimes what you have to do, sis, Lady Dasha, you gotta Google who is the author of this book. Where did this book come from? Where did it originate from? Because it's not canon in regards to it. Christ didn't come down to say, hey, look at me, guys. I'm this, I'm that. He came to do his Father's business to show us, hey, don't assume that you can't keep these laws. Hey, straighten your life up. Because when I come back down here, again, y'all going to see me with a sword. I'm not going to be coming as a fisherman. He's going to be coming as a hunter, right? Because when he came down, he was a fisherman, right? He was telling those, hey, put down your worldly scenarios. Shalom, shalom. Aqua bossing up. Put down your worldly scenarios and come be fishers of men, right? But again, this week's class, like, share, subscribe, hit that like button. It's helped get this truth spread to the four corners of the earth, right? I need a scripture says, if you give the best of your riches, he will increase them. The Testament says. Well, again, these are the things that they teach in seminary school. These are the things that they try to teach pastors and evangelists. If you just put your money in my plate, if you just put it in my pocket, the Lord's going to bless you. He's going to increase you. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. This is what they teach. They teach a prosperity doctrine. Here at the Battle Axes, We're not teaching no prosperity doctrine. We're letting you know, keep these commandments or pay the consequences for not doing so. The choice is yours at the end of the day, right? And kind of like Brother Jose say, these Edomites come with these pseudo doctrine books that were never canon, because now they're trying to make it seem like Christ had a baby with Mary Magdalene and all of that type of stuff. Christ didn't come down here to have any children. He came down here to make sure that we were prepared for what was to come in the future. And we understood how important it was to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of his Father, right? Not the laws of Christ, right? And the only way you can tie that in and say, well, it is the laws of Christ. Well, guess what? My Father, which is the same Father, Shalom, Shalom, Aquabat, right? Everything in the Old Testament says to do, the New Testament says opposite. Not true. Not true at all. Not true at all, because I could go right to the last book of the Bible and prove that the Bible tells you to keep all the commandments. This book is in sync. When we're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, this book is a book of mystery. This book isn't for everybody. And that's where the confusion comes in, where it's telling you, I'm going to go to the last book of the Bible, and I'm going to get into my class just to prove something, right? Revelations 22:14, one of my favorite verses, right? It says, blessed are they that do his commandments, right? Again, we're still being told to keep the commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city, right? So so you'll say New Testament, Old Testament, it was one book, right? See, one of the few people on earth who believes everything is temporal, doesn't matter what tools you have, God above all. That's the reason why we're doing this class. Generational worth. What's your generational worth versus generational wealth? Because if the stock market crash, the money market crash, like a lot of these countries have happened, Shalom, salute, Officer Barakai, right? When that happens, what will generational worth do for you when the money that you have in these so-called bank accounts, where all they have to do is unplug the computer, you don't have no money. What money? All they got to do is zero out your account. What money? At the end of the day, that shows you. We've seen countries like Venezuela, right? Very rich country. When they wanted to destabilize the country, you saw people with shopping carts, right? You've seen people with shopping carts full of cash, walking down the street, $300,000, $400,000 in their currency. And that was only enough to buy a carton of eggs, some bread, some milk, like maybe $10 to $15 worth of stuff, because their money had been destabilized. This is how they destroy countries from within. They've been doing it. They're still doing it, right? And don't think that that's not going to come here, right? But that was for that V-Logs individual, right? Then when they say that the Bible doesn't, but again, what's your father's ethnicity? And we need to see if this is a book for you, because we're going to get into that during this class. Where I'm going to start at in this class, generational worth. You want to have generational worth versus generational wealth, right? We're going to start out at Proverbs 13:22, right? It says, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just, right? So we got to really look at what this is saying. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, right? So what we're starting out with is generational worth. What's your generational worth, right? Because you got to really think about, what does this scripture mean? I'm going to read it one more time. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of a sinner is laid up for the just. All right? Because you got to think about, what are we leaving to our children at the end of the day? These laws, these statutes, these commandments, the opportunity of teaching your children, putting them on the right path. A lot of us didn't learn we were Israelites until we were adults. Our children have the opportunity to learn from the youngest age, right? It's like if you know martial arts, your family is martial artists or boxers or athletes or bakers or carpenters, and the whole family participates. That gives them the opportunity to pass that down. Is that on YouTube? That happened years ago when Venezuela had the gold scenario, Michael. They had that gold, I mean not gold, excuse me, Salakia, oil. Remember when Venezuela had all the oil? They were like number 3 or 4 with the oil. And then when, you know how we do over here, when they didn't want to cooperate with what our people was talking about, all of a sudden they had a military coup. The next thing you know, that their currency level was completely obliterated. And I remember watching it where the people just walking down the street, big shopping cart full of money, stacks, look like a rap video, right? How Floyd Mayweather walk around with $1 million in cash or whatever, it looked just like that. And all they could buy, they were saying that their money has been destabilized to the point of their whole country went into civil unrest because there wasn't, and now you don't hear them talk about Venezuela anymore, do you? They completely just brushed it under the rug. They went ahead and destabilized them. They came in, took what they wanted, and then just now we don't even get them any kind of, media, anything, right? So you don't think what goes around comes around. It's why we have to get completely, you know what I'm saying? Completely on point with the Most High, because you're not going to have the chance. They say you're going to come like a thief in the night, right? Yeah, he come on with all the scoff, and that's cool, right? But I'm very sure your father's father ethnicity may not be pleasing to the 12 gates and the 12 angels, right? Sirach 24:8, right? Because you can tell a heathen when they make jokes. They try to use like novelty characters, like old school characters, things of that nature to make jokes, right? But it doesn't bother me. We keep going, right? We're in the book of Sirach, chapter 24:8. We just came from Proverbs 13:22, getting understanding of a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just, right? So let's get that precept to that Proverbs 13:22 and see what's being spoke about here, right? The book of Sirach, chapter 24:8, which is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, right? It says, so the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thy inheritance in Israel, right? Now we got to really look at how this inheritance was left, right? God, that's all they do. That's all they do. That's all it turns into, mudslinging, right? Mudslinging. But it's okay because we know what happens in the end for a lot of this. In these perilous times, it says it's going to be scoffers, right? Everybody's a comedian because of social media. But let's see how funny it is when Yahushua comes back with that sword. He comes back with those war angels, those chariots, that judgments upon the earth. Let's see how funny a lot of these people are at that point when they're begging and pleading not to be cut down like an unneeded tree and hewed down to the earth, right? Because Christ's not going to be playing. He's not going to have time for anything, right? He's not going to have anything to say in regards to that, right? Again, we got to look at what it tells you here. It says, thine inheritance is in Israel. So we just read in Proverbs 13:22, right? It says, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, right? And then what we just read here in Sirach 24:8 to give more clarity, it says, so the creator of all things, which is the Most High, right? The creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, right? And thy inheritance in Israel. That's a beautiful thing, because a good man leaveth an inheritance. And we already know what Christ said when he said, good master. He said, no, why are you calling me good? There's none good but the Father which is in heaven. So who do you think this good man is that leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, right? And the wealth of sinners are laid up for the just, right? The wealth that these sinners have is being laid up for us. So when they think that they have a cache of ammunition, they have all the guns, they done put the big bunkers up, they got all the food, they got all the water, they got all these things. Guess what? That actual wealth of those sinners that gather all these different things, guess what? They laid up for the just, right? And if you want, Officer Barakaya, I can text Brother Jose your number if you need it. Or y'all can do the email thing right there in regards to it. But we got to look at the good man that leaveth the inheritance and who the inheritance is going to. It didn't say the inheritance was left for the whole world. This is where the confusion, this is where Christianity will teach you everybody's going to get into heaven. But it tells you, Khan, I got you out, no problem. It tells you that there's 12 gates for the 12 tribes of Israel. They tell you that up front. It's told to you that it's 12 gates for the 12 tribes of Israel. Where's the 13th gate? Where's the 14th gate? Where's the gate for this group of people? Where's the gate for that group of people, right? And when they say, oh, you Israelites, you guys are, no, we're reading the Bible in full context, asking questions that most people don't have an answer for. And when they don't have the answer, that's when they start to get in their feelings. That's when they start to get upset. That's when they start the mudslinging. That's when they start to try to defamate our character and basically talk about how the book's been manipulated. All of these different things happen when they get confounded because they don't care about getting into heaven, right? Most of them just want to argue. They have a spirit of contention and they're just ready to argue. But right here within 2 precepts, it's telling you what it is, right? It's telling you exactly what it is. I'm going to read this one more time, then we're going to move on to the next precept. Sirach 24:8, it says, so the creator of all things, we know that is the Most High, right? Gave me a commandment. Who did he give the commandments to? To Israel. And we're going to get that further in here as well. We're going to get that. All of this is going to tie in together because I want generational worth. I don't care about generational wealth, right? I want my children to have generational worth in the kingdom of the Most High, not generational wealth which can be eliminated with the flip of a switch or the push of a button, right? Because you can't bribe your way into heaven, right? You can't bribe your way into the 144,000. You can't bribe your way out of judgment with the Most High, right? You can't do that. There's no tax write-off with Yahushua that's going to get you avoided from the sword, right? You got to really think about it. He says, and gave me a commandment, and that and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest. Who had the tabernacle? The Israelites. Nobody else could touch that tabernacle. Everybody that touched it, that wasn't authorized to touch it, died, right? It says, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, who is the progenitor of the 12 tribes. Well, it went Abraham to Isaac, Isaac to Jacob. They all had the covenant. Jacob had the 12 tribes of Israel, had 12 sons. The progenitor of the Israelite heritage, right? The Most High set this up. He was very intricate in regards to how he did this. He didn't use any kind of confusing things. So when people say everybody can get into heaven, you got to think about what you're getting into heaven for. Because when you tell them that you're going to be a servant and handmaid, as one of the heathen nations, right? Or that the Idumeans or the Caucasians are going to be out here having to clean up what they messed up. Then it turns into, oh, you're twisting the Bible, right? But who is out here dumping toxic waste into the ocean where the animals have to bleach themselves? It's so bad they rather die in the sun than to swim in that, right? Who's out here killing all the whales and the dolphins and the sharks and all the sea life with different tactics and different hunting techniques? It's the Edomites, right? You don't see a bunch of indigenous Latinos or Mexicans or Guatemalans or Brazilians or, Native Americans out there on the boats hunting whales, right? They're not going to let us get out there. The Coast Guard's not going for that, right? They're not going to let you get out there and dump anything in the water. They're not going for that. But these big companies, they got these multi-trillions, we passed billions, these multi-trillions, right? They're willing to do it. Just like they got everybody to invest in these Bitcoins and this digital currency. And now you don't even hear about it no more. They got their money and they got up out the way. Because they know people going to fall for it. They want that generational wealth. They don't have any generational worth, right? How is Samson going to try to bust through them gates if the tribe of Dan not up there? Well, that's a really good question. But the thing is just like most people would say, I don't see the tribe of Joseph because it was Manasseh and Ephraim. The Most High already did the translation of what happened, because think about it. If the Most High don't hear the prayer of sinners, right? What was Samson's final prayer? He asked for the power to destroy those enemies, right? And the Most High granted that. Yes, he made a mistake and told Delilah what was his the thing that would strip him of his power. So the Most High had to make him go through what he went through as an actual warning to Israel. If the Most High gives you a ability or talent or something that that's completely yours, you don't go telling anybody how to defeat that, because the Most High is utilizing you for something, right? He's utilizing you for something. You don't see them online say, yeah, we just made a new stealth bomber, but if you shoot it right here on the left lower quadrant, right here by this screw, it's going to make the whole jet fall out the sky. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. So we shouldn't be giving up our talents as well. What we should be doing is making sure that we strengthen ourselves like Samson to be worthy to interrogate by just walking in and being told, my good and faithful servant, right? That's what we have to do, because at the end of the day, the scriptures say there's no end of the people. But we have to also understand there's things outside of our spiritual pay grade. You see what I'm saying? That's what we have to look at. What tribe was Abraham in, Brother Jose? Think about that. What tribe was Abraham in? But wasn't Abraham able to, what tribe was Lazarus in? You see what I'm saying? But both of them were in heaven looking down on the rich man that was burning in hell. So how could they be in heaven looking down if, you see what I'm saying? The Most High has how he has it worked out. We got to make sure that we're worthy to get into one of those 12 gates. They earned their way in. The Most High gave them their opportunity to get in. Who knows how much sin we've committed in the eternity of a lifetime that the Most High has given us. If there's no end to the people, how many times have we been here before? Most people don't think about the whole thing of regeneration. They'll say, oh, there's no such thing. Okay. All right. No problem. Right? That's most people's belief. Now we're going to move on to the next precept, right? Because we want to make sure we understand who the inheritance is for. We're going to get we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to go into one of our favorite precepts, right? We're going over to Romans 9 and 7. I mean, because I could start at 3 and read down. We could do that, but I want to get straight to the point, right? But you know what? I'm going to read 3 or 4 anyway, just for the sake of the class, because we got to see who the generate. That's something to think about. Con. All praises to the Most High. I'm going to start at verse 3, right? Because again, they'll say everything, oh, well, the Israelites don't. Let's see what's said, right? The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren. We know who brethren is, Ezekiel 11 and 15, if you don't have that precept. My kinsmen, according to the flesh. You can also put Leviticus 19 and 17 next to that. Shalom, Aqua Genesis. Good to see you, sis. And it says again, it says, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. We got the adoption, Galatians 4 and 5, right? The glory, Luke 2 and 32. The covenants, right? Which is Hebrews 8 and 8. And the giving of the law, because they didn't get a law to everybody, right? The giving of the law, which is Psalms 147 and 19. We're going to get that, right? And the service of God, which is Ezra 6 and 8, and the promises, Galatians 3 and 16, right? It says, who are the fathers and of whom concerning the flesh Christ came, because Christ came for the Israelites, right? Deuteronomy 10 and 15. And it says, who is over all, God bless forever, amen, right? And it says, and we jump down to verse 7. Right? It says, and you know what? I'll read verse 6. It says, not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel, right? Meaning there's a lot of people who's not going to keep the commandments. They could care less about going to heaven, right? And they could be Negro, Indigenous, Latino, and Native American. They don't care about being Israel, right? Then you have some Israelites that basically their fathers or grandfathers were Caucasian or of races that were not of the 12 tribes, right? They could have been so-called Amorites, right? Japanese or Moabites, or Chinese or Hamites, right? But again, they'll say, oh, this, that. But again, it goes with if your spirit bears witness, right? That's usually the telltale sign when it comes to being an Israelite. Does your spirit bear witness to what the word says, right? And we go into verse 7, which is where we're starting at, right? Because we got to understand the inheritance. We just seen everything was given to the Israelites. We just started out, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, right? So let's look and see. Verse 7, neither because they are of the seed of Abraham, Genesis 2 and 12, right? That's a precept for that. It says, are they the children? Right? I mean, are they all children? Salakia. But in Isaac shall thy seed be called, right? Which is that Galatians 3 and 16 for seed, and called is that Isaiah 48 and 12, right? So we got to keep going because we got to get a little bit more because they're going to say, well, what about this and that? Verse 8, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, which is Ishmael, right? Says, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed, right? Verse 9, it says, for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come and Sarah will have a son. Well, let's ask, who was the son of Sarah? Isaac. Who was the son of the Egyptian? Ishmael, the wild man. So this breaks down that it says that is they which are the children of the flesh. The children of the flesh was through Hagar, which was an Egyptian, which brought forth Ishmael, right? That's exactly right there. He didn't get the actual covenant, right? It says he didn't get the promise. These are not the children of God. So he's telling you Ishmael is not the children of God right there. So the so-called Arabs are not the children of God, right? This is the reason why they worship Islam or they worship Muhammad and things of that nature, right? It tells you these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. And that's why verse 9 explains the promise. It says, for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. Sarah had Isaac. She didn't have Ishmael, right? This is where people get confused, right? This is where they get confused. We jump up to 8, and it says the children of the flesh, right? Counted for the seed. Let's get the seed real quick. Let's go to the seed. Let's go ahead and get it. Because at the end of the day, they're going to play them games, right? Galatians 3:16. It says, now to Abraham and his seed, singular, were the promises made. He saith not, and to seeds, as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ, right? Again, we had to break that down, right? Let's go from this precept. Hold on. They go from 3:16. So we're going to break this all the way down. And then we're going to jump over to get more clarity and context in regards to what we're talking about by going over to Psalms 25:13, right? That's what we're going to get. 25:13. And it says in the book of Psalms, chapter 25:13, his soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. So if we think about everything we've read up to this point, it's in Proverbs 13:22, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Then we read in Sirach 24:8, so the creator of all things, which is the Most High, gave me a commandment, which he gave to Israel, and that he made and caused my tabernacle to rest. We had the tabernacle, the Ark of the Covenant, which were the Israelites, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, which was the seed, right? That came through Isaac. Isaac came through Abraham, right? Those were the ones that was given the covenant. And it says, and thy inheritance in Israel, right? So we just went here and explained who the children of the promise counted for the seed was. We just went and got the seed in Galatians 3:16. Now, we're basically showing that the inheritance that was left to the children's children, right? And why the Most High made the planet, made the earth for us until we went off, hey, we had to get our punishment. But guess what? The Most High's coming back. He's coming back to rectify the situation that we've gone through. All praises to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. So 25:13 says, his soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. So we seeing again who that seed was. Abraham's soul dwells at ease. He's in heaven already. His seed is the one that's going to inherit the earth through the covenant. Isaac, through Jacob, 12 tribes, Israel. That's why it says in Revelations, 12 gates, 12 angels for the 12 tribes of Israel. Doesn't say anybody else. But there's a 13th gate that takes you to the pool party, straight to the lake, right? Don't want to go to that 13th gate, right? Because it said his seed shall inherit the earth. Let's get one more precept. 1 Peter 1:4. Let's get it. The book of 1 Peter 1:4. And it reads, to an inheritance incorruptible, right? The inheritance that the Most High has given us is incorruptible, right? And as y'all come in, hit that like, share, subscribe, man. Glad to see y'all, right? To an inheritance incorruptible. That's what we were getting through Jacob. That's what we were getting through Isaac. That's what we was getting through Abraham, right? Because we want generational worth. This is where our generational worth is, the inheritance that's incorruptible, right? That's better than generational wealth. Wealth is corruptible, right? It says to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, because money is going to fade away. Riches are going to fade away. That exotic car, that mansion, all of those nice things that we have, it's going to fade away one day, right? It's going to fade away one day, right? We got to really look at what the Most High is telling us when he reads, and I'm going to read it again from the top. 1 Peter 1:4, to an inheritance incorruptible, right? And undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, right? So those 12 gates, right? For the 12 tribes of Israel, right? That's the incorruptible inheritance. That's undefiled. That's what's going to fade not away, right? That's why it says we're working for the penny. Because guess what? Your riches and glory is in heaven, right? Your riches and glory is in heaven. It's not here on earth. This is not our final rest, right? They have to clean up what they done messed up. The air is dirty, right? The water's dirty. They bloodshed all over the earth. They gutted the earth out as much as they could, doing fracking and all types of other foolishness, right? But this is something that you want to really understand, right? This is what you really, really, really want to look at. I want an inheritance that's incorruptible, right? Undefiled and fadeth not away, because you can get written into a will. Papa could leave you the mansion. Papa could leave you all of these different things, right? But guess what? If you don't pay the taxes on that, here come the bank. Here come the gov. They're gonna tell you, hey, you didn't pay the taxes. We're gonna auction off this property, right? We're gonna do this. They're gonna sell your stuff for pennies on the dollar, and that's just gonna be another land grab for them to do all types of weird stuff after the sun go down, right? I want an inheritance that's incorruptible and undefiled and fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for us that are of the tribes of Israel, right? That's a blessing, man. Put a 1 in the chat if this is what you want, that inheritance incorruptible, undefiled, and fadeth not away, and reserved in heaven for you. You know, you go to a nice restaurant, your table's reserved, things of that nature. Who doesn't want a inheritance that's reserved in heaven for you, man? Think about that. Your inheritance reserved in heaven. Who doesn't want that, right? I know I want that. So I'm going to put a 1 up because I want that, right? I don't want, oh, you win the lottery. And you just think about how big the lottery is. Everybody, you know, they're saying that the actual, the deficit is up, right? All this inflation. But every time I ride by the lottery, you got 500 some odd million up there. 700 million, 999 million, right? Shalom, Moses. Good to see you out, right? These are corruptible inheritances. When you have that lottery and all of a sudden you expire unexpectedly, and then they leave that money to your family or to whoever. If you got a willing actual living will, right? Then they have ways to manipulate that to where the company takes the money, right? These little things, like, I don't know if y'all remember Fannie Mae, right? And that's funny. That's my great grandmother's name. But Fannie Mae was like an investment firm with like 401ks, retirements, things of that nature. The top firm, right, here in the States. Next thing you know, out of nowhere, Fannie Mae just went belly up. So all that money that people invested, 30, 40 years, retirements, all of these investments that they told you to actually invest. Oh, this is the best portfolio to have, right? They wasn't telling you that that was a corruptible company that was going to steal your inheritance, right? They give you a little social security, right? But where's the security in it? Because when that check doesn't come in the mail, they're not too social about it. When grandma can't pay her bills, it's not too social about it, right? It's not too social. They said that they giving the migrants that's coming over here 15 bands and 5 bands in cash, right? This is just for them to be able to manipulate. Well, really, when you think about it, they're just giving them that just to manipulate them, because that little money that they're going to give them. And now I heard this week that in California, I don't know if you heard about this, Brother Jose. In California, they passed a law that they giving the migrants $150,000 a piece to buy houses. And you got Skid Row out there. You got all these homeless people, right? People who actually contributed to society that's out there on the street, sleeping in the rain, sleeping in all the elements. You name it, they sleeping in it, right? But they're willing to give who knows who $150,000 now. You know why it doesn't bother me to hear that they're giving them all this money and that they're giving them all of these things? Because in your security, that destruction comes, right? Yeah. They're giving all of these things because these are corruptible inheritances, Jose. And that's a good observation. And I wouldn't doubt that at all that they're giving them 1,400 to be a Autobot out there in the Bay, because you know how they get down out there, right? Trust me, Rice-A-Roni ain't the only San Francisco treat that's going on out there. You dig, right? But we really have to look at the inheritance, because I want mine reserved in heaven. That way I know that it can't be touched, it can't be manipulated, it can't be, wait a minute, you just that. Well, it can be if you fall for the banana in the tailpipe and let them trick you out of your salvation by committing sin, by wanting generational wealth over generational worth, right? Go with me over to the book of Deuteronomy. Let's go over the book of Deuteronomy, right? Because it's funny, they're giving out all this money, but they ain't got no money for everybody. And guess what? They got all these little videos on YouTube talking about, yeah, you can get your stimulus check. And they got everybody's voice. They got that AI. They have so much AI going on now. Y'all gotta beware of the AI Yahweh Shai. Don't fall for that, man. Don't fall for that. They got that AI Yahweh Shai coming. If they can manipulate all types of stuff, we've seen it. We've seen it, bro. So at the end of the day, we gotta be careful. Have to be very, very careful, right? They trying to do brain microchips and all types of foolishness, because at the end of the day, they already know what Christ said he gonna do, and they already know who he's coming back for, right? He's already said he's coming back for, and we know that Christ is not a man that he should lie, neither is his Father a man that he should lie. But we're going over to Deuteronomy 8 and 18. Salaki, I said 18 and 8. I said 8 and 8. But it's 8 and 18, right? And it reads, it says, but thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, right? The Most High is the one who gives us power, right? To get wealth, right? It is madness, but it's okay. Jose, boy, if I was you, I'd try and get up out of there, bro. So I got up out of Florida. A lot of these places where these Autobots thrive and have all of this fun in the sun, and well, I tell you, Most I put on my spirit to get me and my family out of Florida, right? I warn a lot of people, hey, got to get out of a lot of these places, right? Because just like they said, it was a submarine that had to go around and go to Cuba, right? Russian submarine that was able to go past Florida. What if they just decided, hey, we just gonna let it pop off right here? We just gonna go ahead and just pop it off right here. This is what we gonna do it. Boy, them Floridians would have been done. And I'm telling you, it's a long stretch to get up. Just like California, if you're going from Southern Cal to Northern Cal, or going up to Washington, boy, that's a drive for you, boy. That's a drive for you. Imagine Florida, right? There's a lot of people in Florida that's tourists that don't drive well, that have no idea where they're going. There's accidents a lot of times all over the place. A lot of our Levite brothers and sisters, a lot of our Manasseh brothers and sisters that's down there that come right over from the country and say, hey, I'm finna live the American dream, I'm finna drive. They gonna tear your car up out there, man. They gonna tear your car. It's a lot of our brothers and sisters that can't drive, of every tribe. I'm not gonna act like it's just certain tribes that can't drive. You know what I'm saying? Every tribe. There's Judites that can't drive for nothing, right? Benjamites that can't drive for nothing, no matter how many videos they show you. Levites, Manassans, right? They can't drive for nothing. Ephraimites that can't drive. So we got to think about it. Trying to get out of these places, when things start to hit the fan, you're going to be in a situation, boy, where you like, man, we come back home on the 20 last night, me and Capt. And that thing was backed up because they had a little construction going. There were police all over the road last night, flying. We seen like maybe 10 or 12 police cars just flying by us when we was leaving the school. Something happened. But the way they were driving, they don't care if they ran through a car. Baby could have ran out in the street. They going, they're going to keep going, right? But we want to look at what the scriptures say. We really want to look at what these scriptures say, man. Verse 18 says, but thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. So when you're able to get up in the morning and go to work, when you're able to drive to work, when you're even able to have a job, you're able for your job to operate and function, the Lord is the one that gives you the power to get the wealth, right? That he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers as it is today, right? This is what we have to really look at. And it tells you on the flip side what will happen, right? It says, and it shall be, verse 19, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God and walk after other gods, right? And serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. So when we go out here and we walking after these other gods that the Most High told us not to do, he said, you're going to surely perish, right? Surely perish, right? Do you want to surely perish? To follow after something that doesn't exist? I feel like. God, but boy, we trying to get Officer Cole to move out here. Texas, boy, you're going to be hopscotching. Right? But that's mighty of you to want to move out there with Officer Cove, man. That's mighty of you, right? That'll be, you know what I'm saying? That'll be good. That'll help him to build up the Memphis camp even more with mighty brothers, right? Sister Dasha, if you watching, I hope that you pulled up on Officer Cove so you can get that map of that calendar for the high holy days. Because guess what? This Sunday, that's that new moon, right? That's that new moon. So we wanna really look at how we do things, right? We gotta look at how we do things. Because if we're not really acknowledging that the Most High is the one that gave us the wealth, and we feel like, oh, I made it myself, or you're a trust fund baby, right? Think about it. Somebody walking around with the attitude of let's say Batman, right? His daddy had money, right? His daddy got killed, left him millions of dollars in a butler, right? At the end of the day, he feel like he got it off, oh yeah, it's off my father's name. But how much work did you put in on it? Yeah, you may run the company, things of that nature. After a while, you start to think that you did it. I've been reading. The number one reason we keep going into captivity, serving other gods. Con, that's it. Serving other gods. And there's so many routes to get you there to serve other gods, right? A man or a woman could take you into serving another God, right? Not being built up in the truth, right? Not using discernment, right? Not trusting in the Lord, trusting in yourself. All of these things can lead you to serve other gods, right? Anything can be turned into a god. You're on your phone too much, watching your shows, playing your games, and you're just doing that constantly over and over and don't take any time for the Lord to really give him his time. That's an idol in the eyes of the Lord because he's looking like, hey, when you got time for me? That's what he's really looking at. And we may think he doesn't. Man, trust me, these games can get enticing. That Monopoly Go, get enticing. Oh, here goes 600 dice. Oh, that's another hour we got him on the tablet. Nah, sometimes you got to tell them dice no. You got to tell them no, right? If you're on that Monopoly Go, you got to tell that Monopoly Go no, right? When they be wanting you, hey, we got the event going on. You can do this and do that. They trying to get you to do whatever you can to be distracted from the Lord, man. And guess what? That thief in the night can be any time, right? Because think about how many times you've seen people walking with their phone and they fall, or walk into a car, or people get in a car accident because they're on their phone, right? Distraction, right? I want what the Most High has for me in heaven. I want the generational worth. I want to make sure that my salvation is solidified, right? We want to make sure that we're not distracted because think about it. They give you Cash App, right? But a lot of my brothers and sisters been going through problems with Cash App. sneaking their little hands in there. Hey, you sent me money. As soon as you do some kind of request and you requested this from me, as soon as you send it, they all in your account, man. Got to be very careful, brothers and sisters, right? We got to be very careful. Esau has gotten to the point where he don't care. He'll rob you in front of the police and tell them that he about to do it. Hey, watch this magic trick. That's what he'll call it. Abracadabra, your money gone. That's how quick they do it, right? But we got to look at what it says. He swore unto thy fathers as it is this day. This is what he said in verse 18, right? That it may establish his covenant, which he swore unto. The Most High is not a man that he shall lie. He's not. So if he swore under the covenant, guess what? We got to look at the times that he had to remember the covenant, because he know what he told us. And we can't be afraid to call on the Most High and say, Lord, you made your covenant with us. I'm trusting in you, Lord, right? Oh, here we go. He's upset. What are we reaching about? What are we reaching about, right? Because I guarantee at the end of the day, you don't care about your salvation. You would rather have generational wealth, all right? That's what you would rather have, generational wealth. You won't have any generational worth, but it's okay. It's okay because everybody can't go, right? Y'all not like us, so we get it. We get it, right? And hopefully, you better hope that the Most High not sending his son that reaching for the sword that's going to reach to your throat and take your head off his shoulders. That's what you better hope that's not reaching for that, right? That's Leviticus 26 and 42. It says, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, right? And also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land, right? So we got to look at what he's saying he's going to do, because he said he's going to remember those who actually are keeping the commandments, right? That's not walking contrary to the commandments. That's not walking outside of that, walking or living in iniquity, willing, right? That sounds like a God. Yep, another Idumean that can't get in. There's no 13th gate, Idumean. But guess what? We got plenty of work for you to do. Plenty of work, man. Go scrub the oil off all of those wells over there, right? Go clean, matter of fact, let's go ahead and plant some trees by hands. You don't need no gloves. Just go ahead and dig in the dirt. We're not giving no shovel. Just dig up the dirt, right? And just put your hand in there with the seed, and that's it. And hey, keep going until we tell you that you're done, right? Because you're gonna have to fix this earth. Like I just don't get how Edomites just feel like they didn't do anything wrong. That the Lord's just gonna say, "Come on in, guys. Thanks for destroying my planet. Hey, thanks for poisoning all the fruit. Thanks for putting stuff in the air. Thanks for putting stuff in my food that I didn't ask you to do. Thanks for mixing my animals. Thanks for trying to mix the seed of the people. Thanks for manipulating through AI, because that's what Esau's trying to do. He's trying to say, Lord, it wasn't me, it was the computer. I just made a program and it went out of control. If you think the Lord's gonna fall for that, Esau, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken, man. These are the wicked inventions that the scriptures warn us of, right? This AI will show you all types of stuff, right? It'll show you all types of things. But we have to understand the Lord is going to remember his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is the generational worth. This is what we want. This is what we need, man. Nah, because if you let him take a bath, he's just going to re-dirty the water. Then you're going to have the kingdom smelling like a wet dog. We don't want to do too much of that. I don't like that smell, right? So thus far into the class, let's look at it. The Most High gave Abraham generational worth via the covenant, and that's in Genesis 17, right? But he gave Ishmael generational wealth, but he did not have any access to the covenant that was given to Abraham. So we look at that. Ishmael, you look at them, you got Dubai, you got the Saudi princes, you got all of this generational wealth that they got, right? They got that, right? But they don't have an actual covenant with the Most High. We went over that earlier in Romans 9 and 7 and 8, right? We went over that. The children of the promise counted for the seed. That is Isaac, right? Isaac was given generational worth by being the chosen seed of the Most High by way of Abraham via the covenant in Genesis 17:21. I'm going to get that real quick. Genesis 17 and 21. It says, that's the closest he will ever get to brown. That's why they like to go mudding. This is why they tattoo themselves with that weird tattoo that looks, try to make them look black. You're not going to be able to blend in, right? Not going to be able to blend in because you can go out in the sun and it's going to start peeling off for you, man. Like cheap tint on the window or a cheap car wrap. That's what they're doing. They're trying to wrap themselves like a car with these tattoos, right? And a lot of our people are foolish enough to follow these Edomites, and this is how you serve other gods right here. You tattooing your face up, the inside of your ears, behind your ear. You tattooing all of this stuff up for what? For what? We saw a dude last week at camp, tattoo, whole face tattooed like a mask. You can't get that stuff off, man. You've cursed yourself by doing that, right? You cursed yourself by doing that. So we're going to get that Genesis, what did I say? Genesis 17 and 21, where Isaac was given generational worth by being the chosen seed of the Most High by way of Abraham via the covenant, right? The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 21. It says, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time next year, right? And we jump to 20 because we want to get example of how Ishmael was given generational wealth, but he was not given generational worth, right? Let's jump up to verse 20. It says, as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Think about it, Dubai, right? How do I know God is real, right? Because you asked that question. And look at, it's that time, around 12:30 every week we do class. Somebody comes on here and says something that proves that God is real. We can't mess this up, right? That's just your interpretation out of millions. Why is yours right? Because my spirit bears witness. See, again, this is how you give the sacrifices of fools, right? Do you believe in God? Push and plea. Do you believe in God? Do you believe that you will be judged for your sins? Do you believe that there's a lake of fire for those who are in sin? If you don't believe any of that, then we know that you're here just pushing, scoffing. That's it. That's it. You're scoffing to solidify how you feel. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just type something. It doesn't bother us because right now what we're doing is, I don't know, I'm trying to find out. Okay, so fair enough. Let me ask you an honest question, right? What's your father's father ethnicity? You don't have to be nervous. You don't have to be shy. I'll go first. My father's 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 ethnicity is by way of Bahamas, right? It's a Bahamian man of Negro descent, right? Yes, we know that Christ is the King of Kings. We know that. What is your father's father's ethnicity? Because that's what we want to know. When you're coming on here, we want to know what your father's father ethnicity if we've never seen you. If you have questions that don't fit contrary to what we've been speaking about, we want to make sure we can deal with you fairly for the most part, right? You say you're black, right? So your father's father is black, right? Of what descent is he? So-called Negro? Is like my father's father is West Indian. right? Not like Kamala Harris, not no make-believe Jamaican. Nope, by the way of Bahamas. Very dark-skinned man, right? So at the end of the day, they didn't do too well dealing with any kind of Caucasians in regards to it. Africa, Nigeria. Did your family own slaves? Native. My father's father. What? See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Why are you afraid to say your father's father ethnicity? We're asking questions. I told you mine. I can actually chat the post theirs in there. We're asking for a question. We're asking. We want to just make sure, right? They didn't own slaves. Okay, Native. Because we are scattered to the four corners of the earth, right? We are scattered to the four corners of the earth. There are some people that are Israelites that's still in Nigeria, right? That's still all over the United States, all over Europe, China, Japan, you name it, right? No slaves. No. Push and plea. We want to really know what your father's ethnicity is. Because see, this is how we know who we're dealing with. See how Native came in and said, hey, this is where I'm from. This is what I am, right? We spoke about it. We built on it a little bit. And then we want to know what you say. Since you came on and said that's our interpretation. Because we want to understand. Actually, I don't know 100% because many people had slaves. I'm asking, okay, a lot of people had slaves, okay, all right. So these are things you want to ask your ancestors if you can. Who you can ask, you know what I'm saying? What tribe were we? Are you from the Igbo tribe, right? What tribe are you from in Nigeria? These are things that's going to help you get a little bit closer to knowing what your seed line is, because that's what's important. You keep putting black. Black is the color of, let's see, what's something that's black? Black is the color of this tablet. See this tablet? Black. I can't buy a ticket and get on a plane to the land of black. What's your father's father ethnicity? I didn't ask for a skin color because see, then you turn into what does skin color have to do with it, right? Want to know an ethnicity. We can't play because you come on here trying to sound intelligent, talking about this and that. So, hey, you should be wise enough to be able to tell us what your father's father ethnicity is, right? Because right now, what we're reading about in Genesis 17 and 20 is that the Arabs, which are through the tribe of Ishmael, right? That they got a blessing, right? They didn't get the covenant. They got what's the name of a second or third place, or I would say a last place prize, right? It says, as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful and multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Did the Most High lie about that? Israelites were slaves at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong. Asian countries enslaved their people at one point. Con, you know the reason why we were slaves over and over and over and over, because we would basically start following the people who landmass we were in. So when we was in Greece, we were Hellenized Grecians. And we were Israelite. That's who Paul had to speak to. Hellenized Grecians. That's why it says neither Jew nor Greek, because there were some people that were still secretly keeping the actual Sabbath and high holy days in secret. And then there were some people who had given that up to follow the ways of Greece. Like it says, when in Rome, do as the Romans. This is where these terms come from. And yes, the actual Asian countries, which were China and Japan, right? Which were Moab, which is China, Japan, which is Ammon, they had us in captivity, right? The Ammonites was always coming after us just like the Canaanites was, right? So these people, yeah, they wanted to keep us in slavery. So would the Ishmaelites, right? So again, you put African American, right? So we're going to use the byword. So your father's father is African American, right? We saying, come on, bro. At the end of the day, you came here, you gave your, well, how do we know that the Bible's real, and how do we know this and that? So I'm asking you a logical question just to know who I'm dealing with, right? I'm in the tribe of Benjamin, right? So you got to think about it. I know where my gate is. It's in heaven. I'm trying to make sure you understand where your gate is. So there's no reason to get upset. I will hope not. I will hope that we can be masculine enough to have an adult conversation without being upset with one another. Right? Today is not the Shabbat. Today is the day of the preparation. Shabbat does not start until sunset. Right? Let's see. Everything he's speaking, he don't know for sure he's speaking what he's heard. Right? Life person. Right? Are you upset, Push and Plea? Has that hurt you now? That your claim that you've made? Because I guarantee if I go to your page, right, I'm not going to see no works of the Lord. Do you even believe in the Most High? Do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe in Christ dying on the cross for the sins of the Israelites? Do you believe that his Father sent him here to do his will, right? Because so-called blacks, our names have changed numerous times, right? Blacks, coloreds, right? Negroes, right? They keep changing it over and over, but you don't see any other race of people, ethnicity, change over and over and over, right? You don't see that. I said I'm stuck between, and I don't know. What are you stuck between? That's what I don't understand. What are you stuck between? We're just trying to get to the bottom of having some understanding, right? I mean, are you here? So you're not sure if you believe in God or not, if I'm understanding your question, right? You're not sure if you believe in the Most High, right? Well, I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in chance, any of that type of stuff. You're here for a reason, right? You can't tell me what I believe in and what I don't think is facts or not, right? That's the whole problem. So either you believe in God or you don't. If you don't believe in him, then he's already told you what he's going to do. You don't even know if you are not keeping the commandments of the Most High, this Bible might as well be like the Bible on the book of Eli. Might as well be Braille. It's not going to make sense to you. You're not going to understand it, right? A lot of people want to discredit the Bible so that way they can live in their own, as they say, live in your own truth, right? You speak on things before your great-grandfather was born. Huh, okay. Well, if you knew about your ethnicity or you know about your family tree, it's easy to speak on those things. It's called asking questions, right? I had a very proud Bahamian family. My aunts, my father, his brothers, our family always made sure we understood who we were. They had pictures, they had records, they had documents, right? All I know is I was born and guaranteed death. Okay, so if you don't believe in the Bible, let's move on for those who actually believe in the Bible. Because we're breaking down who's getting generational wealth versus who's getting generational worth. So as we read in verse 20, Ishmael, generational wealth. And as you can see over there, they're going through hell, right? But through Isaac, who the covenant was given, generational worth, right? It says, but my covenant, Genesis 17:21, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, not with Ishmael, but with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee as this set time in the next year, right? So we're looking at that right there. We want that generational worth, right? Let's move on to Jacob. Jacob was given generational worth by the way of the covenant promised to his father Isaac, right? And to his grandfather Abraham by the Most High. Let's go get proof of that, right? Let's go over to Psalms 105. Let's go to Psalms 105 and 10. The book of Psalms, chapter 105, verse 10. And confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for a everlasting covenant, right? Because you could jump up to verse 9, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to jump up to verse 6 and read down to 11, right? Bro, can we stop doing this? Living for God. Okay, I want you to understand something. I gotta stop and say this, bro. You out of control with this now. Because when I go, because I can see your posts. That's what YouTube does now as an algorithm. If I'm a moderator, I can click on your picture and click your activity, right? It shows what you posted on our page as well as other pages. Definitely our page when it shows channel activity, right? So we actually, Shalom Tab, right? Good to see you. We can see how many times, how many classes you came on and you made this same post, bro. We're not doing this, man. We're not doing. Let me help you out, bro. Help you out, man. You're not posting your cash app here, bro. We're not doing that. You need to repent and come back to the law statutes of the Most High. You're saying you're going through hell right now and this is happening. I don't know what else to do. You need to call on the Lord. And the reason why I'm telling you to do that, because if the Most High is giving you affliction, no amount of money that anybody gives you is going to fix it. You post this a lot. You go from page to page posting this, and it's ridiculous, man. And that's the problem. We told you to reach out to leadership. Have you done that? No. Right? So guess what? Now you gotta get the 86K, man. You gotta get the 86K. We're not playing that, bro. We're not playing that. People are here because they need the knowledge of the Most High, right? They need the wisdom, they need the edification, right? When we tell you to reach out to leadership and you never reach out to leadership in regards to what your circumstances is, and you come on every video that you can come on, you don't come every time, but you'll just try and pop in and you have the same generated message. Oh, me and my daughter, this and that. I'm going through this and that. And you keep doing that. You keep saying the same thing over and over every time, month after month, year after year. It's no way you keep running into the same situation where my car's out of gas. I only need this much money. Cash out me this and that. No, we're not doing that, bro. So now you got 86, man. We had the 86K, you, bro. All right? Because we don't, at the end of the day, how do we even know that you're an Israelite? We know Esau got a lot of panhandling schemes. Now you're in here trying to chat handle, man. I done warned you on other classes. Stop with the chat handling. We're not doing that, bro. We're not doing that. And it's sad that our people have to even try to utilize that. But again, like the scriptures say, not all Israel is Israel because they're not operating as Israel, right? It's unfortunate. Had to go ahead and do that. But guess what? We got to stick to the scriptures, right? We got to stick to the scriptures in regards to, it says, when you help somebody, know who thou help. We don't know who we're helping when that happens. Because if you're going to post that on numerous classes, how you need that help, and you keep saying the same thing, the same message generated like you copied and pasted, bro, I'm not falling for that. You got to use discernment. We're not going for that, bro. You got to take that elsewhere. You got to take that elsewhere in regards to it. Got to take that elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, if the Most High put affliction on you, I can't get it off, right? He's chat handling. That's exactly what he's doing. He's not panhandling. He's chat handling. Send me something to my what's the name, and this is what we was warning about earlier. You never know. You send something to this individual's cash app. This might be one of those manipulators out there and steal everything in your bank account. Everything in your bank account. Just that quick. Soon as you say, oh, I'm going to send a brother $5, so I'm going to send this person $5 to help him out. Soon as you do it, next thing you know, you're getting alerts on your bank account, right? We can't fall for it, man. He's here for generational wealth. He's not here for generational worth, right? We get it every week. Sacrifice of fools, man. The Most High is undefeated. Every week he says, here you go, right? Here you go. Right? And you know what's so crazy? when these holidays come up, you get all these text messages, say 60% off, right? Say 40% off, get your Labor Day, your 4th of July sale, your this, your that sale. All of the different sales, these companies are saying, hey, come spend some money with me, because they only care about generational wealth. They're not going, they know that they're not going to the kingdom. They know that they're not one of the 12 tribes. All they care about is making money, right? They don't care about anything else but that, right? Think about it. Levi's, right? Bank of America, all of these big companies, right? Morgan and Chase. I mean, yeah, I think I said that right. Morgan Stanley, I don't know. It gets so many different names, man. And guess what? They're all about making sure that their children can eat off the labor of our people. Because think about it. Nobody does the work that they love anymore. The only work that I do that I love is the work of the Lord, man. It comes with the best retirement plan, the best 401k, right? The best vision, spiritual vision, right? So the best health plan, because if I'm keeping these commandments, guess what? I won't fall into the hands of the physician unless it's the will of the Most High, right? Unless that's his will, right? But I pray that it's never his will for me to fall into the hand of the physician or my family or my loved ones or my brothers and sisters, right? I don't know what you're saying, brother, please, for Philip. I don't even know if you are my brother. Yep, best vacation packages, right? So at the end of the day, I want that incorruptible inheritance, right? Philip, why are you saying brother, please? What are you brother pleasing for? Let's hear it. Because it's, I guess the scoffers are back, right? They just say something, brother, please. I don't even know if you're my brother or not. I don't know what make you to think that you're my brother. You may be Israelite, you may not be Israelite, right? But we know that Esau loves to come with that word, brother, but they broke the brotherly covenant, right? I'm going to get this Psalms 105, and I'm going to start at verse 6 and read down. We're going to wait for Philip to tell us why he's saying please to us. It says, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen, right? So if we can't understand that David is recalling the miracles made for Israel, and they think everybody's just going to get into the kingdom, let's look at it, right? It says, O ye seed of Abraham. We went over seed in Galatians 3 and 6, right? You know what? I guess you're going to learn about the 13th gate today, Philip. O ye seed of Abraham, his seed, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. Not Philip. Philip isn't the chosen, right? We know that Philip's not the chosen. Verse 7, he is the Lord our God, not Philip's God, right? Not Philip's God at all. His judgment are in all the earth. He have remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, right? And we got that in Leviticus 26 and 42, when the Most High remembered his covenant, right? It says, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, right? So these everlasting covenants, we want this. This shows right here, Jacob was given that by way of the seed line. We already knew he was going to jump out the jack in the box, right? We already knew that. But see, the thing is, he is of his father, the devil. And that's cool because he's going to be on the cleanup crew, right? He's going to be cleaning up all the time. The children of Jacob, right, which is Israel, was given a generational work. We was given generational work through the covenant given to Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham by the Most High. How do we prove that? Let's go to Exodus 34 and 27. We want to prove all things, right? We're going to see that the children of Israel was given the covenant, right? All right. The book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse 27. And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words, I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel, right? So he's made a covenant with us, right? He made a covenant with us. He told us, don't take their daughters or their sons unto your children, right? That they're going to get you to go a whoring after their gods. He warned us of doing that, right? Because he wanted us to have generational words. Why do you think when Ahab tried to get Naboth's vineyard, he had to rebuke him with the law and tell him, hey, I can't give you this land. I can't give you this property of mine because it's in my inheritance. I have to give it to my seed line to keep that going, right? We got to really think about it. We know who Philip's inheritance is, right? His God is gold, oil, and drugs, right? Because that's who they worship. They want all the money. They want all the Lamborghinis. I want an electric car, bro. Tesla truck, man. I want a cyber mansion. Everything's touchscreen. They want the house to talk to you, right? But don't worry. When the Most High has these things to malfunction, you'll have your reward, right? You'll have your reward, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to prove that the covenant is only for us. We have to prove that the Most High's covenant is only for the nation of Israel. We have to prove this. Because if you leave it up to them, they're going to tell you that it's not. It's for everybody. It's for everybody. Everybody can get it. Psalms 147:19, right? It says, he sheweth his word unto Jacob, right? His statutes and his judgments unto Israel, right? He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Who is it that, who's the they that have not known them? The heathen nations, the Ishmaelites, the Edomites, the Ashkenazis, the Canaanites, the Hamites, the Moabites, the Amorites, the Elamites, right? They have not known them, right? They have not known them. They don't know the nations, right? They don't know the judgments. They didn't get the word. They didn't get the statutes. They couldn't keep the commandments. We've gone over this numerous times, right? To prove it. I'm going to back that precept up. I'm going to back that precept up with another precept that proves that, guess what? They could never keep the laws. The heathens could never keep the law. 2 Ezra 3, right? And I'm going to start at 34. It says, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel, right? It says, or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Because guess what? Who's killing all the animals? Who's creating all the laws that contrary to what the Bible says, right? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen, right? We have to always read that after we read that 147:19 and 20, right? We have to curve stomp Christianity into the ground, because guess what? It's one thing to be a Christian, which is a follower of Christ. But if you're not going to follow Christ to the T of what he did and what he told us to do, then you're basically an imposter, man. You're an imposter like Philip showed up, right? Said 666 in the house. That's what Philip says, right? That's what Philip said right there on the chat. Because at the end, he is of his father, the devil. He wants his generational worth. But guess what? We got to go in a little bit further. We got to get a little bit more on this, right? Because we can see that there's a lot of people that are going to fall for the trick, right? They're going to fall for the trick and say, man, I'm about to bag, man. I'm trying to get this money. I need this overtime and things of that nature. Dummy, the more that you make, the more that they take. You may think that you're getting all this money, but guess what? They're taxing it. They're taxing it. No matter what you do, they're taxing it, bro. And they're taxing the tax on the taxes. They triple tax you. This is how you know that you're still a slave, man. This is how our people still know we're in slavery. They're gonna tax you for the hours that you work, right? And then they're gonna tax you on the back end on top of that, right? And we knew who he was, Tom, right? Y'all put a 1 in the chat. Let me make sure my chat didn't freeze up yet, man. I have some questions coming. We're gonna go to Jeremiah 9 and 23. Might have put a 1 in the chat. Just want to make sure my chat not froze. They like to freeze up our chat after a while. All praises, our quad bossing up. All right, I see you, sis. Khan, Sharia, right? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 23. So the Lord's going to bring the judgment, right? He's going to bring the judgment. So we have to really look at the warnings that we get from his prophets, right? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 23. Thus say the Lord, right? Let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, right? Neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, right? This is what we're being warned of. Don't let the rich man glory in his riches. Generational wealth is what these people are always trying to teach. Let me show you how I went from living in my car. Now I got this Lamborghini, I got this house, I got this and that, and I can teach you, and it doesn't cost you a dime. That ain't true, bro. That ain't true at all. Because they're gonna ask you for money on the back end. All of these things that promise you this generational wealth or situational wealth or wealth in period is foolishness. Because if that was the case, then they would be teaching these courses in college, elementary school, middle school, as well as high school, right? If it was that, they don't teach that. It's a YouTube app, right? And that's crazy how that fits the algorithm. I guess you have to pay to play. And I guess we do understand that. They'll try and put our videos to where they're not getting any views because we're talking about the word of God. But they'll allow you to, every video you watch, it's, hey, why haven't you signed up for your stimulus check? Why haven't you signed up for this? You could be getting this much money. I'm paying for gas and bills, and they put the most ghettoest black girl voice on there, right? Yeah, you need to get this and that. Just call and give me your information. Where you think they're getting these actual fundings to give to these migrants? All of these people that was dumb enough to try to claim their little $2,400 check, they probably done flipped your Social Security probably. They done probably flipped your bank account somehow or put money on your name on the back end that you can't see, and they're making money off of that. They're making money off of those that was foolish enough to try and fall for this so-called imaginary situational wealth, because they would rather, right? They would rather be in a situation of giving you an imaginary riches. That's why I said let the rich man glory in his riches, right? Let's see here. Let's go over to Psalms 52 and 7. Psalms 52 and 7, right? And it reads, lo, this is the man that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in his wickedness, right? When you got Elon Musk out here saying, put in a brain chip, right? Put a chip in your brain so you can be on the Neuralink, right? When you got all of these rich Edomites that's just waiting for you to sign up for something that's going to push them further into their generational wealth, right? That's what they're going to do. Because sooner or later, they're going to get tired of him and move him out the way. Why don't you sell those gold chains and feed the homeless? Because the Lord made them homeless. Me selling my gold chain ain't going to get them from being homeless. This ain't $1 billion chain. This ain't $1 million chain. That's going to, what they're going to eat and buy some drugs and some alcohol because these people need help. They need actual facilities to go in to kick those habits and get that sin off of them. That's why I'm sitting out here feeding the homeless now. Now, and when I mean the homeless, I'm talking about those that don't know that their kingdom and their actual home is in heaven. That's where their riches and glory is, right? You can tell me to feed the homeless and do all of that. It's not going to change anything. The Most High made them homeless. I have no control over homeless. Any of us could have been homeless. I've been homeless before, right? I've been homeless. And if it wasn't for the Most High, basically helping me and my family out of the situation that we were in, then guess what? I wouldn't be here talking about it, right? So before you be covetous of what another person has, then you need to ask yourself, what am I doing, right? And I guarantee I go to your page, I'm not going to see you out there feeding the homeless out of your paycheck. I'm not going to see you doing any will of the work of the God, right? So we really, really, really have to do that, right? We really have to look at that. We gotta look at that, man. Because who made the people homeless? Well, let's get some more understanding, because we read earlier that the Most High is the one that increases our riches, but, right? Right? People think that doing these things on earth, right? People think that you go out here and you videotape yourself handing out turkeys on Thanksgiving. The Lord said, don't keep Thanksgiving, but you handing out turkeys, right? Why is it against the law for you to feed the homeless? They catch you feeding the homeless, you're going to get you a nice ticket. You're going to get you a nice ticket. You might get arrested. Why? Because guess what? The Most High has made it that way. He's like, I made them homeless. Until they come back to my law, statutes, and commandments, this will be their lot. But people don't read the Bible, man. People don't read the Bible. They don't apply the Bible. They don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? They don't do that. They do not do that. What they will do is they'll come up with their own doctrine that make it okay. Yeah, you're going to feed the homeless. Ask the Lord, when is he going to feed the homeless? Why don't you do this, right? Why don't you fast for a week and cry out to the Lord through your affliction and ask him to feed all the homeless and to take them out of being homeless, right? But then you have to ask yourself, if Most High said he don't hear the prayer of sinners, right? And he says, help not a sinner, and they're out there living in sin because that's what they've made their lifestyle turn into. They're not worshiping the Most High. They could care less. All they care about is they can survive from day to day. They don't care if the Most High is going to let them survive, help them survive, or anything, right? You got to ask yourself, why did the Lord, who has all power, put them in that position, right? The Most High had me homeless because he needed to get my attention, right? Think about it, right? Think about it. I want you to really think about it. I'm going to give you an example. My own boy Luke, right? He would always get him, you got to help the homeless, you got to help the homeless. And I would hit him with the verse, help not the sinner. You got to help the homeless, you got to help the homeless. One day we was riding, right? We were riding to go somewhere. I forgot where we were going, but he went to Panda Express and bought 2 plates, 2 meats, 2 big rice, everything, right? And there was a dude that he seen on the side of the road. He said, hey man, I got some food, because he said help. You know what I'm saying? He had a sign, help, you know what I'm saying, homeless, you know what I'm saying, need some food to get something to eat, right? He gave him the food out the window of the car. He said, bro, I just bought this. He go to receipt. You can feel the steam. He said, I just went right here to Panda Express. Bro, I bought both of y'all a meal so y'all can eat, man. So y'all don't have to be out in the sun. Go take a break, man. He got something to drink, bottle of water, everything. You know what they did? That dude threw that food down on the ground, bro. The other dude just kind of placed it there. They don't want that. And they pick their sign back up. They want money, because at the end of the day, they may want to go get them something to smoke on, something to drink on. They may want to pay for a prostitute, right? They want to do that. How many times have you seen these people out here asking for money and they go get in a better car than what you got? They go out there, they counting thousands of dollars. Yeah, today was a good day. That's tax-free money, right? How many times have you seen that said, dang, or you gave them something to help them out Like you say, hey man, can I get a couple of dollars? All right, when I come out the store. Let's say you only got $2 change because you spent 3 out of 5 that you had on you, right? My nephew just splashed me with water. I don't know, Tab, what's going on? Y'all in there having water gun fights, right? That extra cheeseburger rejected once. I was kind of embarrassed. Think about it. When you try to help these people that say they need help, they will come up to you with their children. And when you give them the food, you can take them in McDonald's and buy them something to eat or wherever they're panhandling that and they want the money because they're using that child as a prop. They want that generational wealth right now. They don't want the work. When you say, hey, you know what? When we got plenty of people that say they're homeless and ain't got nowhere to go, right? And they got this or that. We say, here's a flyer. Reach out to leadership, right? Help try and get you right. The phone never rang because that's not what they want. They were hoping, right? They were hoping that you was going to give them some money so they could go pay for what they want to do. They want to go do something in sin. That's why the scriptures say, when you help somebody, know who you help, right? If I'm helping, let's say one of my brothers say, hey, we don't have any, you know what I'm saying, we kind of short on gas money, right? Because one of the brothers put some, you know what I'm saying, help me out with some gas money so I can get the Sabbath class, right? If a brother ain't got it, they'll be like, where you at? I'm going to come pick you up. That way you ain't got to worry about it. And I give you some gas money for you can, you know what I'm saying, put some gas in your car, I'll take you to the gas station, put some gas in your car so you got gas for the week, right? I've been on the receiving of that and I've been on the giving of that, right? So I know that's why it says know who you help. It says help the righteous man, right? It's telling us help the righteous man. So when we're out here calling ourselves trying to help the homeless, the Most High put them in that circumstance to get their attention. And a lot of those people adapted to that situation and said, well, Lord, I'm still not going to call on you. I'm just going to be out here crawling around in the dirt and sleeping out here under the bridge and doing stuff like that. That's crazy, right? But again, they had an opportunity to come back and serve the Lord, but chose not to do it, right? I'm telling you, boy, it's out of control, right? Con. They don't want nothing to eat. And then now you got the people that just say, I'm going to be honest. I just want to get high. Give me some money. Or I'm honest. I just need a beer, right? And guess what? You may ride by and have some beer and give him the beer. And guess what? He go out there, get drunk and stumble into traffic and get hit by a car and killed. Blood on your hands. Blood on your hands after that, right? That's what you want to make sure you're not doing that, right? Because again, Psalms 52:7, it says, lo, this man that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in his wickedness, right? You're going to get that, right? Con, you want to do that as well, right? Ones rejecting the food or panhandling as a child, not be homeless. Ones that truly will accept the food and try and call any resources you give them. And that's really the rareness of it, right? I gave so-called hungry dude, I gave some chicken wings. Dude said to me he wasn't in the mood for wings. It snatched the wings out of his hands. Hey, you gotta think about it. How hungry are you, right? When we were children, I don't know if y'all put a one in the chat if you remember hearing this from a parent. Oh, Mom, I don't want that for dinner. You ain't gotta eat. You can go to sleep hungry, right? Our parents was playing that back in the day. You don't want to eat what I made for you? Then you ain't gotta eat it all. Go lay down, right? Go lay down. A lot of people don't know about drinking enough water to be full enough to go to sleep. Nobody knows about that, right? Nobody's gone through those types of things where you ain't have enough to eat. So you had to drink water until your stomach was full, right? That's crazy, right? And you wasn't drinking no Zephyr Hills or no, what's the name? Ozarka. You might be drinking it straight out the tap, right? Think about that. People don't think about that. Oh, you don't want what I got to eat? All right. Go on to sleep, all right? And when you tell these children that now, they face be looking so confused, like you done did something wrong. Like these children will will quick to, they quickly call child abuse and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you something, and people may not agree with this. I'm very sure that an extension cord has kept a lot of people out of prison, bro. If you've ever heard about someone getting a whooping, right? A whole bucket of chicken and he threw it away because it wasn't money. See what I'm saying? This is why the Most High tells us, help not a sinner. Because imagine how you feel, imagine how the Lord feels when he feeds us with his word. He feeds us with his understanding and we reject it and go and serve these other gods, man. The same way, boy, I would be hot if I went and spent my money. That's why I don't do it. If I went and spent my money on somebody that was hollering about their homeless, they want something to eat, and then they took the chicken, I give them the bag. They took it. Slang your chicken out in the street, man. I would be having to say, man, do we got bail money in the account? I'm about to beat the dirt off this homeless person. You see what I'm saying? You want to avoid that. You got to tell them no. Hey, I ain't got nothing for you. Because they're out there doing that. Gave Esau $1, and one day he asked me, what is this all? I took my $1. Exactly. This is why it's okay to tell these people no, man. Because a person that's homeless, right? They gonna come to you and say, hey, can you buy me something to eat, please? I ain't got nothing to eat. I'm so hungry, right? Those people will come to you humbly. You might get them a cheeseburger. Thank you so much. God bless you, right? And if they got a child with you, they're going to let the child take the first couple of bites if they that hungry. That burger's not going to even make it out the parking lot when they're hungry for real. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of these people will go to the shelter. They know that they're going to the shelter because you talk to them like, hey, I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta go. You will see the homeless people, they moving. They're out there moving. And they want to get to that shelter because they know that's somewhere for them to sleep, that's somewhere for them to wash up in most cases, and somewhere for them to eat and get a meal, right? They could care less about the food you're going to get them on the street because they may not have a microwave to warm it up, right? They don't trust you enough to know that you ain't did something to that food. You see what I'm saying? So out here talking about something, hey, anything helps and this, that, the other, right? Anything helps. Nah, they don't believe that. And these Christian churches will go out there. We seen the one time we was out there teaching, they pulled up with a whole bunch of pepperoni pizzas. Hey guys, with a megaphone, we got pizza. Now homeless people were right across the street listening to the word of God. Next thing you know, they interrupt that to say, here's some pork for your fork, right? Exactly, liquors and drugs. That's it, not on my dime. Con, Most High freed me of smoking trees and all of that stuff, not on my dime, right? I would have been so mad. I'm telling you, I would have been so mad, Ezra, if I would have, you know what I'm saying? That's like you buying stuff for the homeless people and it's, I don't want this. Bro, you'll be so upset, but guess what? It's what you deserve because if we use discernment, if we take heed to the scriptures, we're going to know what to do in these situations. The Most High put lots on people, right? When you need help, right? The Most High see that you're doing what he say do. How did he feed Israel? He said, I'm going to give them the manna. I'm going to have some quails come down. He didn't have the Egyptians walking from Egypt holding plates of food and stuff like that. No, he said, I got you with this right here. And I'm going to give you a double portion before the Sabbath, right? We don't want what the Lord has given us, man. But that's how Esau does. When the word is being brought, guess what? The devil tries to come quickly take it away, right? Sometimes it's the ones who don't ask. Yeah, but those are the ones. Hey, trust me. They play the long game. They play the short game. Let me ask as many people as I can so I can tell a marketer. Somebody's gonna say yes and buy the popcorn, right? Shalom. I'll see you, Cole. Good to see you, King. Somebody's gonna buy the popcorn, right? Think about it. Somebody will take the money that you give them and go buy some alcohol and come back and give you the middle finger and cuss you out and keep it moving. And tell you that you're dumb. The Most High put that spirit on them to show you who they really is. And you should feel dumb when you do that too. Because these people out here are chasing generational wealth, which is not going to get them anywhere. You know what? We go from here, right, The man who trusts in the abundance of their riches, right? We're going to go to Proverbs 11 and 28, right? So these people, I tell you, I know you're cold and seen a whole bunch of those people down there on Beale Street that be homeless and stuff like that. They just want to drink, man. They just want a bottle. They just want them a Long Island, right? A Big Tuesday, right? Even Con, they'll send somebody out there and just say, hey, you know what I'm saying? That may not even be a wife. They might just say act like they're a family, just because. You know what I'm saying? Just because. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Real homeless people are very resourceful. Very resourceful. They're systematic, and they know they've learned how to live off the land in a sense. They really do, a lot of them really don't need your money and will be insulted when you offer them something. The ones that are really genuinely 100%, I'm homeless, I'm in a bad situation, they understand it, right? They understand that. Proverbs 11 and 28, right? And it says, he that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch, right? He that trusteth in his riches shall fall. A lot of these people, right? They're going to say MOB, money over, right? They're going to say that. Like, what did DMX have? Money, cash. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everything's about the money. These people trust in their riches, and they die with nothing in their bank accounts, right? They ask you for money, and then they get upset when you're like, you ain't got it, right? This is where they trick our people with the music. They spreading the money all down their arm, down their leg. They got all the money on the floor and this, that, the other, right? And then you know what the most I will do? In the news, so-and-so rapper is now going to jail, in court fighting for this, that. All that money that you just spread it is going right to the hand of the lawyer. All that money is paying your bail. That's your restitution. All of these things. So when you get out here and you're trusting in your riches, you're going to fall, right? It said, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. Let's get a precept for branch, right? And go over to Isaiah 4 and 2, right? Isaiah 4 and 2. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel, right? We got to think about it. Who wants the Lord's new glory that's set aside for Jerusalem? I know I want it. A lot of them do end up dead. They go out there buying that fentanyl, right? They go out there and trust me, these riches and this glory, these people that trust in their riches, right? And it's sad, man. We go down there and see these young girls and then these little young dudes out there trying to pimp and prostitute these girls, right? And they be looking a mess. And they out there looking for something, probably passing something around. They don't care. They do not care. You go to him, go out there to H2. I call that Harry Hines. I call it H2 because the two H's on that mug, right? I made the mistake, and my wife, Adiva, she can attest to this, came down here and we were looking for a reasonable place to stay at. I'm from Florida. We from Florida. We don't know, hey, this looks affordable right here. Okay, no problem. I done got a hotel over there off of Henry Hines. Boy, I tell you, it looked like a Luke video all week long. They in the hotel, they in the lobby. Like they said, you know what I'm saying? After the lobby is after this. No, they out there in the lobby walking around with glass heels on or plastic heels on and bathing suits and stuff. You get in the elevator, you got to cover your eyes and your son eyes. You ever know what floor you getting off on? They in the elevator. They on your floor. They outside the building. Police ain't doing nothing. I'm going to tell you, it was cold. But we came for the Feast of Dedications, right? And we was out there in Henry Hines. Bro, the police see them walking down the street. They post on the corner. They walk right in front of the police car. This girl had on a one-piece bathing suit with some fishtail stockings, no jacket, and some heels, just walking with a little purse on. And they walking in bunches too. These police weren't doing nothing, boy. They was out there prostituting themselves, bro. Shalom, Abraham. Good to see you. And this is the sad part, right? It was brought to my attention that their pimp was a woman. Yeah. The pimp was a woman. They wasn't doing a thing. No women was out there selling it, right? And like I tell these sisters all the time, you're going to have a going out of business sale. The Most High will make sure of that, right? He's going to make sure of that. When you hear about these horrific things, body found by the river, body found in a dumpster, body found in the trunk of a car, all of these things, these are the going out of business sales because they're choosing generational wealth, right? Versus generational worth. They don't want the worth of the Most High. They don't want to come back to the laws. They don't want to save their body for their husbands. They're like, nah, we're going to run it up. They're going to run their body into the ground, man. See, the Most High made it to the point of a woman can have sex only so many times and then it just close. I bet you it wouldn't be a lot of prostitutes out there, right? It wouldn't be a lot of them out there trying to sell it because after a while it would close up. That would be that. They'd be out of business, right? But we got to really think about why the Most High had to send his son to be the branch. And the proof that Christ is the branch is in Jeremiah 33, 15 and 16, proving that Christ is that branch, right? We got the precept that the Lord shall send. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. Christ was that branch, right? We're not going to get that. Jeremiah 33, 15 and 16. That's a great read, proving that Christ is a branch. That's a great precept to have. We'll go over to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy, right? 1 Timothy, Salakia 6, and I'm going to start at verse 8, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to read verse 7, right? Read verse 7. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. People chasing this generational wealth, there's nothing you can leave because you don't even know if the insurance company is going to give them that money. You don't know if that living will that you have with that company is going to give your family that money without taxing it numerous times over and over and over, right? We know how these companies work. They're ready to steal. They're ready to steal. They care less, right? Verse 8, having food and a remnant, let us therewith, so I can read that over. Having food and remnant, let us be therewith content. We got to be content with what we have now. You only got 2 feet, right? I had to pray, Lord, hey, all of these Jordans and stuff that I was liking, hey, Lord, hey, cut it. Let's cut out. Let's stop me from liking them, right? Because guess what? You can like things. You can enjoy things. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it comes to a point where you have to say, you know what? Enough is enough, right? Enough is enough. I don't need all of these things because then you're falling into that same trap. This is how the devil will get you. Like I was telling you earlier, 60% off Labor Day sale. Everybody got 60% off. Everybody got 80% off. But the key word they put up to. When you go on the page, the stuff that's up to 80% off is something that you have no use for, that you don't need. And it's not false advertisement because they have something there that's up to 80% off, right? But it ain't something that you want nor that you need, right? Verse 9, it says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, right? These people that trust in their riches, like it says, they shall fall, right? You don't want the snare of the riches, right? Because you're going to fall into the temptation. The temptation is, if you're a rich woman, now you think you got power over all of these men, right? Then a sodomite tricks you into getting married. You think that you're so in love with him. He got his homeboy. Yeah, this is my best friend. This Eddie. But Eddie is really his partner, right? She thinks that she's in love. I'm not getting any older. I want a child and stuff like that. He makes me feel so good, right? He's holding back. He said he doesn't want to have sex until we get married. She falls for it. She doesn't think of a prenup, right? He gets married. He sticks around for 90 days. Then he's out of there. Out of there. With damn near all her money. going back to live with his partner. He got him a nice little quick heist, right? Same thing with the men. They marry these young girls thinking that they want them. Guess what? These women put some kind of blackmail on them, or they got some kind of way where they're getting money out of these people. This is where the rich fall into the temptation and then the snare. They're tempted by them, right? And then they got the snare. It says, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, right? Foolish lust, that blackmail. Hurtful lusts. Oh, we got you on video doing this and that. I'm not really this age, I'm this age. These are things that these people fall into with this money, right? It says, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through it many sorrows. What's the many sorrows? Going to court, trying to prove your innocence, right? You basically erred from the faith. And say you an Israelite and you win that lottery. You may err from the faith because the love of money is the root of all evil, right? You may not be strong enough to handle millions and millions of dollars, right? The Most High may say, hey, you're strong enough to handle paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. Or you're able to handle what I give you. If I give you more than that, guess what? I know you're going to go off. I know you're going to go out. That's why he said no vain repetitions in your prayer. Are you praying for money every night, Lord? I just need $1 million, Lord. He's like, okay, I'm going to give it to you. Now here come the problems. People want to get you. People want to rob your family, hold on ransom. And they know that you didn't hit that lottery. These are the problems that you didn't have before when you was broke, right? But once you got that money, guess what? Now you're not broke. Like the dude said, hey, sell your change to feed the homeless. Feed them. What we feeding them? We feeding them with the word, man. Because that's the only thing that's going to nourish their body, right? You can give them a sandwich. They may not like the meat that you give them. They might not like the cheese or the bread that you put it on or the mayonnaise that you put on it. Oh, this got mustard on it. I don't eat mustard. What are you feeding them, right? Like the people that come out there every time, can I get a bottle of water? I'm not going to give you a bottle of water so you can go take your pills around the corner, man. We're not doing that. And we say, hey, post up for a second, hit a word of God. Oh, man, F y'all, this, that. Okay, you don't want no bottle of water. That's cool. Them bottles of water are for the soldiers that's out there holding posts, man. The centurions that's out there, right? The teachers that are out there. The readers that are out there crying aloud. That's who we bring that water out there for. We don't have any kind of bucket saying, hey, donate, give us money because we're out here on the street teaching. We're not doing that. There's no guitar case open while we're out there playing music. We're not doing that. We're out there doing the will of the Lord, man. When you go into battle, you bring your provisions with you, right? Con, they always complain about something. The lady came up last week and, she seemed like she was under the influence a little bit at the cigarette, talking about some, y'all ninjas don't want to give out no water. I'm giving out this and that and da-da-da-da-da. These people need water. I'm like, bro, so versus going to buy a pack of cigarettes or getting alcohol and stuff like that, save your money, deprive yourself, and go buy 50 cases of water. Now you got to figure out how you're going to get the cases down here to help the people. Because one case of water might be too heavy for a woman, right? But you got, let's say, 10, 20 cases of water. Guess what? How you going to keep the water cold? Oh, now you need a cooler. Now you need ice. But since you see our cooler, you see the ice in there. You see us grabbing waters out there for the brothers that's holding posts. Now it's, oh, can I get a water? Hey, you got 5 minutes for the Lord? Oh, man, F that, I ain't doing it. Guess you ain't got no time for no water either, right? Let your spit soothe your throat. You know what I'm saying? But we have to really think about this. You may want to be rich, but that may not be the Lord's output for you, because our riches and glory, right? Our riches and glory is in heaven, right? Because it says right here, it says, which while some coveted after, they have erred, right? And you can get that 2 Ezra 8:53, right? It says, from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a quick example, right? 5 minutes for the Lord. You got 5 minutes for the Lord. Because a lot of times, the most time, those people that say, yeah, I got it, sometimes when people stay there for an hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they get a flyer and then they're like, man, I didn't know that. And they got spiritually fed. They got thirst. Sometimes we, you know what I'm saying, we got extra water. Hey, brother, sister, you can have a water. Because you've been up here for like an hour. So yeah, we'll give you some water, right? You out here laboring with us in the hot sun, no problem. And you're listening humbly, right? You're asking pivotal questions to actually get closer to having an understanding of your heritage and what you need to do to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, right? This is what we have to do. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into an example of how the love of money is the root of evil, and how generational wealth will never be worth generational worth, right? It'll never equal out. So I'm going to go over to the book of Joshua. Book of Joshua, right? It says, Achan, right, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed things after being warned not to do so. And I'm gonna go to Joshua 6:18 to prove this, right? This was the warning, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get 17. It says, and the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein to the Lord. Only Rahab, the harlot, shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye, in any wise, keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourself accursed, when ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. Right? This is what Achan was a warn not to do. But of course, he wanted generational wealth. The warning came out. He didn't listen, right? He did not listen. And guess what? It caused our enemies to have us afraid and fleeing during war. Let's go to Joshua 7:5. Let's get the account of that, right? It says, and the men of Ai smote them about from 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate, even into Shebraim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water, right? And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads, right? Think about it. That accursed thing that was brought about, we got to be very careful, because this can happen to us, man. This can happen to us. That's why we have to tell our children, we have to tell our wives, we have to tell our husbands, be careful not to touch these accursed things and bring them into your homes, man. Let's see. Achan, right? So guess what? He didn't do it. So Joshua had to go to the Lord, who told him that Achan had disobeyed his warning and not to touch the accursed thing, and what to do about it. Let's find out. Let's jump down to verse 11, right? And we're gonna find out. We're gonna read down to see what actually happened, right? Because any of us could fall into this if we're not careful, and we're out here trying to chase generational work. You working overtime. The Sabbath is coming in. Hey, I'm gonna put in 4 more hours. You know it's gonna be dark. Most High he may take that job from you, because he's the one who makes you rich. He's the one that can make you poor. Just like that, right? All right, so let's read. Verse 10, and the Lord said unto Joshua, get thee up. Wherefore liest thou upon thy face? Because he put it face to the ground out of humility, right? And humbleness. Israel have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. For they have even taken the accursed thing, and they have stolen and dissembled also, right? So they were slick about it. They dissembled it, right? And they have put it even among their own stuff. Now they're trying to be slick. You know how your kids, they done stole something or brought home something. We was kids. You done took somebody's toy. You try to hide it amongst your stuff. Till you get that knock at the door from their parents. Yeah, my child said they gave so-and-so the toy. What kind of toy is it? Guess what? Back in the day, our parents were like, come on in. We're going to find this toy together. And then I'm going to whoop your behind, right? They want you to see, they want them to see, hey, we don't play that in our house, right? Or they'll make you bring all your toys to the door and let that child say, that's it right there. See, it got my name on it, right? What book we're in? We're in the book of Joshua. We're in the 7th chapter, and I just read verse 11, right? Where we had this symbol and tried to hide stuff amongst our things, right? This is what Achan, or if I'm saying his name right? Well, let's go to verse 12. It says, therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except ye destroy the accursed from among you. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou canst not stand before thy enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you. In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which the Lord shall take shall come by households. And the household which the Lord shall take shall come man by man. The Most High is very, very meticulous. He wants you to see, just like how our parents will make us go through each and every toy or each and every video game to prove. If somebody pull up and say, hey, your child did this and that, guess what? Gun. Yep, the Lord does make it poor, he make it rich. It's up to him, right? Because he may make you rich to help you give out all your money to make you poor again, but give you enough to make you sustain, right? So guess what? We got to be careful what we ask for. Like Solomon, he didn't ask for riches. Asked for wisdom, knowledge, discernment to judge Israel. The Most High made him very, very wealthy, right? And after a while, he started calling all this stuff vanity. Everything he had was vanity. This is vanity. That's vanity, because he wanted our people to not be covetous after what he had, right? He used the wisdom of that, right? All right, so where we at? Verse 15. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he have transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he have wrought folly in Israel. Generational wealth will never be on the same page as generational worth. This dude, Achan, his sin destroyed him and his family. Because we just heard what he said. You're going to get burnt to death, bro. You getting thrown in the fire right now, bro. You ain't even got to go to the pool party. You finna be at the barbecue. You don't even get to go to the pool party. You getting a barbecue right now in front of the whole nation of Israel. He said tribe by tribe, family by family, household by household, man by man, right? We can't be out here trying to chase this dollar, chase this bag, because that is the snare that will be above. What do they put on them people's heads in the movies when they go kidnap them? They put that black bag over their head. That's the bag you're chasing? Uncertainty, right? Fear. Because guess what? When you got that Lamborghini, you're going to be looking out the window every 5 minutes, see your eyeballs hurt, and make sure a bird ain't sitting on it, and make sure somebody ain't taking pictures on it. Do you got to put a gate at your house? Do you got to make sure you got security cameras out there? Do you want dogs out there because you got a big yard, you got the security cameras, you can't see everything, right? Then you don't hear the dogs barking, you're nervous. It's just one thing after another, after another, after another when you got a lot of money, bro. Trust me. Look at how Tony Montana, right? They had all that money, they couldn't even hide it all, right? Put it in the closet. That closet's full. Put it here. Then he got on them drugs. He was super paranoid. Right? So verse 16, let's look and see the obedience of Joshua to do what the Most High said do. It says, so Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. Oh, so we see who had it. It was the tribe of Judah, right? It says, and he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of Zarhanites, and he brought the family of the Zarhanites, or the Zarhites, man by man. and Zabdi was taken, right? And he brought his household, man by man, Achan, the son of Carmi, right? The son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah was taken. So all of these people was taken because Achan wanted to basically do something that he wasn't supposed to do. And they gave them a warning, bro. They gave them a warning, right? Let's see here. Verse 19. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now, what hast thou done? Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it, right? So he was thinking about generational wealth. This is why all these individuals got taken, right? This is why Achan got taken, Carmi got taken, Zabdi got taken, Zerah got taken, right? Of the tribe of Judah. They had to make an example. He told them what he had, right? Buried the silver under it. Verse 22. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran into the tent. And behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua and unto the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord, right? Y'all spread y'all money out. Guess what? The Lord took that money, he spreaded it out, right? That generational wealth that he thought that he was going to have right then and there, right? And Joshua and all of Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them unto the valley of Achor, right? And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and buried them, and burned them with fire, Salakia, after they had stoned them with the stones, right? And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor to this day, right? These generational worth, get rich schemes, oh, you got to leave this for your family and got to have a will and insurance and all of that. We saw what just happened to Achan. He was chasing generational wealth. His kids died because of that. His sons and daughters, right? As well as the men that was probably with him. Not sure if they got put to death as well. The Most High is like, hey, guilty by association. We're not playing this. Let this be a lesson, right? Chasing generational wealth, man. Oh, I'm gonna invest my life savings in this Bitcoin. Okay, right? Because Achan and his family died over his lust for generational wealth, right? Versus listening to the Lord, having generational worth, right? So he had that silver hitting at the bottom, boy. All right, he had that silver hitting at the bottom. He didn't want them to touch that silver at all. Had that silver at the bottom. Thought he was slick. Hit it under the tent and everything. Had him a scheme, right? See what that scheme got him, though. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 10, right? And it reads, he that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity, right? You got to think about it. That's vanity, right? he will not be satisfied. The scripture tells us. So when you chase after things, you don't see me in here with like 50 gold chains on, right? I got a few. That's it, right? You got to be satisfied. You get to a point where you say, I got enough. I got the ones that I want. I'm good. Was there other ones that I wanted? Yeah. But guess what? The Most High didn't allow me to get it. So I had to be content with what I was given, right? What I was given, right? Because we got to think about it. He that loveth silver should not be satisfied. Why won't he be satisfied, right? It says, with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase is also vanity. Let's see why. Let's see why, because there's a reason why this is even being said, right? Jump over to Proverbs 27 and 24. Why is he that basically loveth silver not be satisfied, nor he that loveth abundance with increase, right? Why won't they be satisfied, right? Proverbs 27 and 24, and it reads, for riches are not forever. That's the reason why they won't be satisfied. Because they know that what they have is, guess what? That shirt gonna fade, them shoes gonna rip up, that car's gonna break down, right? So we gotta really look at it. It says, for riches are not forever, right? And you see Rick Ross say he wanna be rich forever. No? The only way you're gonna be rich forever is in the kingdom, right? That's the only way, right? That's the only way in regards to it. Since you put in, what's that, Barakatah? I can't see what it is. Barakatah. You know, it's Barakatah if you're saying thank you. Or if you're saying you're welcome, is out of one. All right. The bar, right? So we gotta know that these riches are not forever, right? It's all praise to the Most High, sis. I know what you was trying to say. So all praise to the Most High. The Lord know what you was trying to say as well. It's Barakatah, BARACHATHAM, Barakatham, right? So it's all good. Riches are not forever, and doth the crown endure to every generation, right? So what's going on, Shalom, right? We gotta really look at it. Does the crown endure to every generation? No, it don't. Let's think about it. Even with these Edomites, the owner of, let's say, Walmart, right? He may leave generational wealth to his son. His son may do good by it, but his son's son may be on drugs and squander a lot of it. So a lot of times they be having little clauses. You can't collect the money until you do X, Y, Z, right? Con, all praises, sis, all praises, right? Shalom, Brit, yeah, all right? We all learn every day, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta always make sure that we are learning and utilizing and applying, right? As well. But every crown won't endure to every generation. Let's say I'm rich and I leave the riches to my son, but he squanders the money. His child ain't gonna have the riches. You see what I'm saying? So it's telling you, these riches are not forever. So these Rothschilds and these bloodlines that think they're gonna have this money forever, it's not. They're not gonna have it, right? Because we were warned not to do something, right? We were warned not to do something. 1 John chapter 2 and 15. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him, right? The love of the Father is not in him. And let's get verse 16 too. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world, right? The world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. That's what we want to do. We want to abide forever, right? We want that everlasting life. We want the tree of life. We want to make sure that we enter into the gates, right, of the glorious city, right? Let me get Matthew's. We're almost out of here. Let me get Matthew's 6. We're going to go to Matthew 6 and 19. It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and thieves break through and steal, right? I'm going to go to the book of James really quick. Hold that precept. I'm going to James, and I'm going to the book of James, chapter 5, and let's see here. I'm going to just go straight to it. 5 verse 2. It says, your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together in these last days, right? That was the warning of that. That's why I told you, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves will break through and steal. This is what we got to do. We got to avoid laying up treasures for ourselves upon the earth where these things going to happen, right? Put a gold chain on somebody in a casket to see if you open that casket in a month to see if it's in there. Let's get verse 20, right? Verse 20, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. This is where you want to put your treasures. This is where you want to lay up your treasures. Hold that, right? Let's go over to 1 Timothy, Salakia, going back to chapter 6, and let's get verse 19. It says, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may hold on eternal life. I want that eternal life, right? I want to lay up in store this good foundation, right? These good works that the Most High told us not to do, right? He said, hey, you want these good works, right? You want this actual incorruptible inheritance, right? Not of man, right? Because let's get verse 21. It says, and we're going right back, Matthew 6 and 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. All right? You know how to preach up with that? Luke, hold on, let's see something. Because where your heart is, that's where your treasure's going to be at. If your heart is in the things of the world, that's where you going. Yeah, no, it's just saying the same thing in Luke 12:34. It's just and this is Christ giving that advice, right? All right, so right now we're in Matthew's, right? We're in Matthew 6 and 19. So I went from Matthew 6 and 19, right? Because it says, lay not up for your treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt. Then I went over to James 5, 2, and 3, explaining that the rust on your gold and silver will come, right? Your clothes will be moth-eaten, right? And ripped in the textiles will wear down on them. Trust me, they will. And then I went into verse 20, where it says, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt. Then I went into 1 Timothy 6 and 19. That's where you probably came back on that. And it was reading. It says, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may hold on to eternal life. That's where your riches and glory is. That's where your treasures are in heaven. Because in verse 21, it makes it plain and simple. It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. right? There will your heart be also. So we went into a lot this week. We learned about the good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. The Most High was that good man that left the inheritance, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel, right? We were given that scenario. We were given the inheritance, right? We were put into a situation where the Most High established his covenant with us and us only, right? And basically he did not deal so with any other nation. But then we learned about the warnings of helping a sinner, right? We learned about the warnings of chasing generational wealth, because it's not wise for a man to trust in his riches. That's what it says, let not a rich man glory in his riches, right? It says this is the man that make not God his strength and trusted in the abundance of his riches. So many of these Edomites, so many of our people do this. They trust in their riches, right? I got bail money. They yell out all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're going to use all of that, right? We learned about Achan, right? We learned about the love of money. Then we went into the example, which was Achan from the tribe of Judah, who cost his children their lives. They were all burnt. They were all burned up. First, they were stoned to death. Then they were burned up. They brought the shame upon Israel. They troubled Israel because he disobeyed the warning not to touch the accursed things. He tried to hide them under his tent, right? That's why it says, so he that loveth silver should not be satisfied with silver. He didn't want just the silver. He wanted the gold bars. He wanted the garments. He wanted all the things. So they burnt all that he had, the sheep, the oxen. They looking like, well, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Yeah, you do. We need to get all of y'all out of here. The Most High had to make a really good example. I want everything that has to do with them out of here before I come back to help you, right? So it says, love not the world, neither the things that are of the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Then we learn not to lay up ourselves treasures upon earth, but to lay up for ourselves treasures upon heaven and eternal life, man. Hit the battle axes of the Most High. We say, keep the laws of the Most High, right? And we always get a law or a statute or a commandment, right? I'm going to go ahead and get me a law. We got new moon coming up on Sunday, right? I believe it's Sunday night going into Monday night, right? So we're going to be celebrating a high holy day, not a Labor Day. The labor we're going to be doing is laboring for the Lord. That's what we're going to be doing, right? Yeah, I already know how the 2 years old can be, man. Trust me. These children, boy, nowadays, let's see here. Let me get a law. All right. I'm going to get Deuteronomy 20 and 17. All right. All praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High, Yasharallah. Barakatah Akim wa Akhwatium, which means bless you, brothers and sisters. All right. I'm going to read the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 17 for my law, right? It says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is of thy neighbor, right? You got to really think about it. Achan, right? If he had somebody coveting what he had stolen, the garment, the gold, the shekels, the silver, right? Guess what? He lost his house, right? He lost, well, they didn't say he had a wife, but if he did have a wife, you know what I'm saying? He lost that. He lost his actual ox, his ass, his sheep, his tent, everything. Man, all praises, brothers. No reason to apologize. We understand we in captivity, so we know how it goes. Esau come over there. What you got going? What you looking at there on your telephone there, right? But we should not cover our neighbor's things. We should not be out here trying to get generational wealth. We should be trying to get generational worth by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. The Most High gives us opportunity to actually come back to him. We need to take every chance that he's given us to make sure that we're serving him and pleasing the Lord. We need to make sure that we're pleasing the Lord. If you're not pleasing the Lord, I mean, come on. Come on. If you're not pleasing the Lord, what we doing? What are you really doing? If you're not pleasing the Lord, I mean, that should be your pleasure. Just like when you go to Chick-fil-A and you yell at them, "Where my sauce at? These fries cold." You know what? Let me get that bag. I'm sorry. It'll be my pleasure. Can I get extra sauce? It'll be my pleasure. So guess what? Keep these laws. It should be my pleasure. Keep these feast days. It should be my pleasure. Abhor sin. It should be my pleasure. Do thus say the Lord, not thus say man. It shall be my pleasure. We need to treat the Most High like how the Chick-fil-A employees treat our people. Everything that the Lord asks of us should be my pleasure. When Abraham was told to kill Isaac and sacrifice him, guess what? It shall be my pleasure. That's the way we should look at it. When it's time to put your body as a living sacrifice, it shall be my pleasure. Lord, it's 108 degrees out here. We forgot to bring our canopy, but we're gonna stand out here and cry loud. It shall be my pleasure, Lord. I'm gonna read. My voice is going out. It shall be my pleasure. Right? I'm gonna do what I need to do this week to get this class written. It shall be my pleasure, right? It's abusing someone for extra sauce. Godly. What are you talking about, man? You just heard sauce. You must be one of them big heathens. You heard sauce in Chick-fil-A. No, if you've ever seen any of the skits online where it shows how they deal with people at Chick-fil-A, they be yelling at the people, fussing this, that, and the third, and the person kept saying, "It'll be my pleasure. It'll be my pleasure. It'll be my pleasure." Right? I've gone to Chick-fil-A. Hey, can I have some more napkins? Oh, it'll be my pleasure. Oh, I didn't get my straw in the bag. I'm sorry, sir. Let me get your straw. It'll be my pleasure. So they operate in a different kind of, and a lot of the places out here in Texas kind of operate like that. Not all of them, but they are. So we ain't got to abuse nobody, right? But I tell you one thing, these heathens going to get abused in the kingdom for everything that they've done, right? So if you're not of the tribe of Jacob, right? If you're not one of the 12 tribes, if you don't got a gate to get into the kingdom of heaven, and you are a Elamite, which is an East Indian, right? If you are a Moabite, which is a so-called Chinese, right? If you are a Amorite, which is a Japanese, if you are a Canaanite, which is those Africans, right? If you are an Edomite or Ashkenaz, which is the Anglo-Saxons, right? If you're an Ishmaelite, which is the Arabs, right? And if I forgot any, guess what? Everything's gonna be, it'll be my pleasure in the kingdom. And if you don't think it is, guess what? He that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword. That's something that the Most High is not a man that he should lie, right? And guess what? Christ said his Father's house has many mansions, right? Many mansions. You need to do DMT. I don't know what that is, right? And if you got 666 on your name, you need to get ready for captivity, right? So do all your push-ups, say your prayers, or eat your vitamins like Hulk Hogan told you, because it's some hard work. Y'all gonna be cleaning up a lot. It's a lot that y'all got to clean up, man. All them animals gonna be waiting in line, right? Everybody gonna be waiting. You gonna be really working. You think that you working our Mexican brothers and sisters, right? Guess what? Hey, we all gotta meet our maker, right? But guess what? When you meet him, you get to go in the 13th gate, straight to the lake, pool party. That's where you're going, right? At least I know who my God is, right? You have no idea because you're of your father, the devil. They get so upset when they realize that they're not like us. There's no gate for you, right? There's no tribe there is a tribe, which is Esau, but you're getting that opportunity. Shalom, man. It's good to see you, Soldier Ray out there in Minnesota, man. I pray that the Most High has been blessing you and bringing you back to your full strength, man, with your vision. right? I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I just said you are a devil because you are Edomite. Talking about it's a number of an angel. Can you show us before we leave what number of the angel that is? Now it's the number of the angel, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I done heard it all today. It's the number of the angel. All right. The number of the angel, man. Y'all get ready for this evening, man. We had a strong week of classes. The Most High has increased us in regards to classes. So now it's going to go a little something like this. Sunday, right? Hey, what's your father's father ethnicity, Mr. 66? What's your father's father ethnicity? Let's see if you're one of us or one of them in regards to it, right? But let's go ahead and go. We got Big Up Sundays, right? Shalom, shalom. Big Up Sundays, Captain Benaniyah, right? Smoke Sundays. We got Mondays, right? Power Hour, Captain Jerubbaal. Tuesdays, we got a double portion on Tuesdays. We got the morning class with Officer Yaakov, and we got the evening class now with Captain Yard, 2 Legit Tuesday evenings, you know what I'm saying? Wednesday, Warrior Wednesdays, Officer Berekaya. Thursdays now is, I'm not sure what them brothers' name. They should named it Triumphant Thursdays. Just throwing that out there, Ezra. Triumphant Thursdays or Thunderous Thursdays, ain't it? With Soldier Ezra as well as Soldier Uriah, right? Friday morning, yeah, Reverend Friday with myself, Soldier Hood. Then Friday evening, right, is Soldier Donovan, Soldier Rajatakia with First Works Fridays. And then Saturdays, we have our Shabbat class with the leadership, right? So the Most High has increased our Tuesdays to a double portion. Thursdays, another class. So all praises to the Most High for his wonderful and marvelous works and increase of the actual gospel going out to those who actually need edification, right? Please like, share, subscribe, everyone in the chat. Share it on your Facebooks, your social medias. Throw this class out there. People need to see these classes. They 4 corners of the earth. We need to get the rest of the elect marked so that way we can go ahead and get ready for the kingdom, man. Put these heathens back to work, right? Put Israel back on top as it should be. I pray that y'all all have a blessed, a Barak week going forward. Have a Barak Sabbath. Thus say the Lord. Have a Barak new moon. Like I said, we start our new moon Sunday evening into Monday evening, right? If you have any questions about the High Holy Days, please reach out to leadership. We have Day of Atonement coming up next month, right? We have the, not next month, Salakia. In October, we got Day of Atonement, if I'm not mistaken, blowing of memorial trumpets, new moon, and tabernacles, man. We got some big High Holy Days coming up, man. So y'all please tap in with leadership if you're trying to pull up and participate. Hey, reach out, man. And with that, I'm Soldier Hood Banya Sharala. I'm a humble servant of the mighty Ancient of Days, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am nothing without him. I am nothing but a humble servant. Please exalt him. Please do not exalt me. In regards to this, I pray that his word has edified you as it edified myself. Shalom to everybody in the chat, everybody that's coming in. Rewind if you're just coming in or you didn't get a notification. We know how Esau likes to play. And with that, I'm going to say Kwame Asherallah, Hallelujah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yasharallah, Barakatah Yahweh. With that, I bid you a mighty shalom on this day of preparation. And we'll see you this evening for First Work Fridays with the mighty soldiers. Shalom.